Today's lesson is on how do we find theoretical probability. The school holds a fair where there is a game with a spinner. The spinner has 16 spaces. In order to win, you must land on one of the 2 red spaces. How many people are likely to win if 600 people play the game? Take a second to copy down the question. So, we need to first find out the probability of winning the game. There are 16 spaces and 2 red spaces. So the probability to win the game is 2 out of 16. I can also reduce that to be 1 out of 8. So that's the probability that someone wins the game. Now we need to know how many people are likely to win if 600 people play the game. So I'm going to set up my proportion because my probability is saying that 1 out of every 8 people that play will win. Now I need to know how many people will win X if 600 people play the game. So in order to solve this proportion, I need to cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, 8 times X is 8X. 1 times 600 is 600. I can then divide both sides by 8, and I would get 600 divided by 8 is equal to 75. So there are 75 that will likely win if 600 people play the game. Now the reason why that this is called theoretical probability is because in theory, 75 out of 600 will win. That doesn't mean that it's going to be exact. That does not mean that 75 out of the 600 will definitely win, but in theory, based off of the probability, that is how many people are likely to win. And now the second question. In another game, contestants must roll 2 die at the same time. If the sum of the 2 die is 7, the player wins. About how many winners will there be if 400 people play the game? Take a second to copy down the question. So this problem's a little new. I'm going to take the sum of the 2 dies, and I need that to be equal to 7. When I'm doing this, I have 2 things that are happening. I have the first die, and I have the second die. In the first die, there's a total of 6 possible things that can happen. In the second die, there's also a total of 6 possible things that can happen. When I have 2 situations, I'm going to multiply them together to determine how many total possible outcomes there are. So 6 times 6 is 36. So there are a total of 36 outcomes. Now, I need to get a sum of a 7. For a sum of a 7, I could get a 1 on the first die and a 6 on the second die. I could also have it the other way and get a 6 on the first die and a 1 on the second die. I could get a 3 and a 4, or a 4 and a 3. I could also get a 2 and a 5, or a 5 and a 2. Even though these look like they're the same, they're different because 1 is for the first die and 6 is for the second die. That is different than getting a 6 on the first die and a 1 on the second die. So here there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 outcomes that I would like. So my probability would be 6 out of 36 or 1 out of 6. So now I need to determine how many people are likely to win if 400 people play the game. So 1 out of 6 equals X over 400. So now I can cross multiply. 400 equals 6x. Divide by 6. And I get 400 divided by 6 is equal to 66.6 repeating equals x. And we cannot have a decimal amount of people, so I need to make sure my answer is a whole number. So since I'm at 66.6, I did not make it up to that 67th person yet, so I can say that 66 people are likely to win.